Shanti Gerbu Shabla Kushan Sar Gumbol Dravarian Devana Tome Nyam Sholan Chujira Chuchun Shehawa Jila Zamlin Janchon Namla Kushan Sar Zamlan Zibi Janchun Shanyi Dan Tujelon Don Nyam Bentam Gaya Natrutam Brevi Peter Shujin Kondi Shurkur Tomben Honchin Chime Wuzar Sabla Kushan Sar Sivsha Ganjin Dola Gypsy Dere Chime Wuzar Yamtre Tuk Terenzo Sarlon Chen Nam Ken Nam Jer Jime Limbi Sabla Kushan Sar Marizangin Charan Yang La Shara Kunda Zambu Molam Nambrajan Sivji Jarin Tenlin Zanzam Mapam Jamsu Sabla Kushan Sar Pami Tuksi Durjib Dunjumji Turbin Rolira Lampikar Matu Londarik Bi Horjib Jingme Punzo Sabla Kushan Sar Kamzon Korva Don Tunum Jimbe Sabjelam Ayon Dentar Jemba Nilu Rajar Tumbi Namjon Yeshi Wamchu Sabla Kushan Sar Kunzan Dorsim Garav Shirasan Pema Kara Jemba Nyushunga Sozar Namnya Tirtun Jarza Katir Lamaya Namla Kushan Sar Kandab Shochu Dongunji Dina Desalamar Jurwa Kansata Tandar Tumbi Shuji Shermim Sembrando Badida Dhamchen Darshashi Namo Arya Dambal Hai Kedan Ladan Lujinke Tundadam Mike Namdan Dua Kunji Jarke Jazam Tamshe Kete Chujan Tujurji. Okay, again prayer on English, second page. May all beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be apart from the supreme bliss which is free of all suffering. May all sentient beings live in great equanimity, free from the attachment and aversions that keep some close and the other distant. May all beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be apart from the supreme bliss which is free of all suffering. May all sentient beings live in great equanimity, free from the attachment and aversions that keep some close and other distant. May all beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be apart from the supreme bliss which is free of all suffering. May all sentient beings live in great equanimity, free from the attachment and aversions that keep some close and other distant. Okay, so now we are going to explanations about the 37 practice, the part of Bodhisattvas teaching. This teaching we can division into these three outlines, which is the virtues of begin, virtues of actual part, and the virtues of the end. So we have gone the first stages, the virtues of beginning. So now we are on the virtues of the actual topic. And then these again we can divide into three stages, which is the preliminary teachings, the part of Bodhisattvas, and the actual teachings, the part of Bodhisattvas, and the conclusion stages, the part of Bodhisattvas. So we have gone the first section, the preliminary part. So now we are going on the second section, which is the actual part of Bodhisattva's teachings. And these actual one again we can divide it into this three different stages, which is the part of smaller beings, part of middling beings, and the part of great beings. So now we are going on the first one, the part of the smaller beings, the teachings, the part of Bodhisattvas. So from the 8th verse, the verse 8th. So the main point here, the part of smaller beings. So the suffering of the lower realms, so difficult to bear, is what the Buddha taught to be fruit of negative actions. Therefore, even at the cost of your life, never to commit negative actions is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So now, what is the key points, the part of smaller beings? Because the Dharma practitioners depend he or her motivation. Because your motivation is only you want to benefit yourself for next rebirth, freedom from the unfortunate three lower realms, and your practice, the main point, you want to reborn again in the next rebirth, higher on the fortune, human or God realms, and on top you want to become the good life, reborn in the good life. So that is the motivation. This projecting motivation lead you into the path of the smaller beings of the Dharma, the path of Bodhisattvas. So, in this way here say, the suffering of the lower realms, so difficult to bear. Actually, samsara full the kind of difference of the sufferings, suffering of change, and all pervasive suffering. But the suffering in samsara not same experiencing for everybody, because depend different levels. The sixth realm we can division into the two difference, upper realm and lower realm. So the lower realm beings are hell realm beings, hungry ghost realm beings, and animal realm beings. These are the three we say lower realms, or unfortunate three lower realms. So because there are here some more suffering than the higher realm beings, because the suffering of suffering. For example, being who unfortunately reborn in the hell realm, and they are mainly suffering with heat and cold during hundreds years, thousands years, and sometimes takes kalpas. And being who unfortunately reborn in the hungry ghost realms, and they are mainly suffering with hungry and thirsty during many years and hundreds years and many lives over and over. And being who unfortunately reborn in the animal realms, and they are suffering mainly with the mental stupidity, blindness mind, and suffering with eating each other's, killing each other's, and suffering with to be used by the humans under the force, have no freedom themselves. So these are the three sufferings. Mainly is the suffering of suffering, the most of the strong one. So here, the suffering of the lower realms, so difficult to bear, that is not easy like this simple what we're talking now. When we will be on, unfortunately, that experience appears, and that time's very hard to bear, very difficult to face about these problems, Even we cannot thinking about these sufferings, when exactly experiencing on the problems that times, so difficult to bear. It's because many years and many lifetimes over and over and suffering. But why they are falling unfortunately three low realms, and why is more suffering unfortunately low realms? Is what the Buddha taught to be the fruit of negative actions. That's the main causes, the conditions. Because why it says Buddha taught? Because Buddha himself completely already freedom from the two obscurations of delusions and the obscuration of to the omniscient. And therefore he already achievement state of the omniscience, all-knowing knowledge stages. So he clearly understands the natural law of cause and effect, clearly. Because the object of the knowledge object of phenomena can be division into there's three different categories. One is the direct perception object. One is indirect, the hidden phenomena object, and one is very hidden phenomena object. So this kind of the natural law of cause and effect, we're talking past life, we're talking fully repentant result of future life. Like this kind is for us ordinary people is very hidden phenomena. So therefore we must be follow these valid cognitives to the offer something very the spiritual qualified the wisdom and compassion mind. Otherwise you yourself at the moments cannot clearly recognize about these problems from what, and why. So that is here is Buddha taught to be the fruit of this suffering and unfortunately low realms, the fruit of negative actions. Because suffering and the happiness both are originated by the cause and conditions. Without cause and without conditions cannot be experiencing any of the result. It's automatically not possible. So therefore the fruit of suffering also is originated by the negative actions or their previous misdeed karma. So that's a negative action. For example, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, slander, harmful speech, adult gossips, talk, and harmful thought, harming mind, holding wrong views of extra and extra. Those all is the negative action. This negative action, the violence conduct performed by the motivation is also three poisons, which is excessive of desire, excessive with the excessive of the anger, aversion mind, and excessive the negative emotion of the ignorance or the delusions and so forth. So that is the actual cause of this suffering and the unfortunately low realms. So that is the negative actions. So therefore we must be trust to the such holy person or holy beings, what they says, for example Bodhisattvas, because Buddha, his heart is full completely filled the compassion and loving kindness, the pure compassion and pure love to the sentient beings. Have no reason, want to cheating to other sentient beings, but they want to benefit other sentient beings only. But even if lacking of the wisdom, the pure wisdom, then there is possible sometimes misexplanations and misunderstanding to explanations. But Buddha completely, his heart is freedom from the obscuration to the omniscient. So his heart is with the wisdom of suchness, wisdom, and achievement state of manyness, wisdom, have no mistake or no misunderstanding to explanations. So therefore, what needed, the actual cause to benefit sentient beings are compassion and wisdom. So therefore, we can trust to that like the qualified, the spiritual teachers. So therefore, even at the cost of your life, never to commit negative actions, because we had already experiencing hundreds times, thousands times, billions times, countless times cost our life for maybe food, for drink, for possessions, for warfares, for friend, for enemy, or so many things, many times since from beginningless time until now, and we are many times as the death or the cost of your life after of the birth over and over, but this was meaningless. We're meaningless, we cost our life, again and again, and leading into samsara, and sometimes most we cost our lives for falling the low realms, problems happened. So in this case, in that moment, here we're talking about for avoiding negative actions and cultivating the virtues, and but this motivation is have meaning even you cost your life, it's meaningful. That moment your death is meaningfully, because avoiding negative actions, because it's to support of your virtues, because that for benefit next rebirth, immediate next rebirth, the higher realms. So therefore, even cost of your life is that just have meaning, So it's never to commit negative actions. They have no exceptions, never, whenever, wherever, so any ever is to commit negative actions is the practice of a Bodhisattvas, because Bodhisattva, he or her main motivation is want to benefit to other sentient beings. Therefore, at least first start for himself or herself to be freedom from the unfortunate three lower realms, and he or himself and must be responsibility first stage reborn higher and the fortune and the human or God realms, because that is more fortunate, the opportunity chance to benefit to other sentient beings. Other hand, himself even cannot seek the free from the low realms, and then how can do benefit to other sentient beings? Not possible. That is why the practice or part of Bodhisattvas, that is the part or similar, actually the main motivation is part or similar things, generally we can say. But if this follow of part of Bodhisattva, then at least you must be to benefit to sentient beings. First, you to free from yourself and low realms, the chance for benefit, That's why it's a part of smaller beings. The actual motivation alone, only thinking for next rebirth to free low realm and reborn high realm yourself alone, that is part of middle being, the smaller beings. But if this including into the part of Bodhisattvas, then your motivation I mentioned to you just previously, because you want to benefit other beings. Therefore, unless you doesn't want to fall in the low realm, then that is Mahayana tradition, and that's one. And then the second actual the practice, the part of Bodhisattvas, and the next, the verse 9, the part of middling beings. Happiness in the true realms, like a dew on the blade of grass, is subject to ostentatious fading away to strive for the supreme state of liberation. That never, wherever is the practice of a Bodhisattva. So now the middling motivation, on top of the first motivation focus on the natural law, of course, effect and want to free from low realm and reborn high realm. But not that is only, but on top of this motivation, on top, you want to freedom completely from all the faults of samsara, and somebody want to completely freedom from the any kind of suffering of samsara. No matter which kind of suffering, suffering of change, or all pervasive sufferings. They understand the faults of samsara, born at the bottom of hell realms and the peak of the top of existent formless realm, but some is kind of sufferings there, as they have not completely freedom from all of the sufferings. So they have the renunciation. They had renunciation completely to the samsara, and therefore they want to achievement state of ultimate peace and the ultimate enjoyment, which is nirvana. So, but this motivation, they're avoiding negative actions and they're cultivating on positive actions and collective merits and wisdom. That is the path become in the middling beings. So here, happiness in the three realms. Because why we are reborn again and again and again in the three realms? The main root is the ignorant, of course. The ignorance is at the root of samsara, the misconception, misunderstanding. And then on top of this self-cherishing, we have attachment, self-cherishing. So self-cherishing is the root of the samsara actually. For example, why we are going to the action of the contaminated karma. No matter you're going to collective of merits or non-merits. Because if we collection of non-merits and collected non-merits, then we are falling under unfortunate three low realms, the first one I mentioned you. And then even if you collection merits, but you have attachment to the samsara, because why you going to collection merits? You say, oh, I want to reborn higher in the human realm and God realm for enjoyment and long life, healthy life, and the fame or the welfares, the elevated possessions of the samsara. That means is you are still very much attachment, a very the excessive the desire or craving to the samsara. So this motivation leading into samsara again and again, even you go on virtue actions, So we need to renunciation to the samsara, and you want to become a nirvana, achievement nirvana, then this lead you into the path of middling beings, So anyway, is the any kind of the temporary happiness and temporary enjoyment, all the samsara, the happiness of samsara, we can say contaminated happiness, contaminated enjoyment. The enjoyment of samsara is contaminated because that is projected by the previous contaminated karma. So therefore the fully repentant result, even virtues from virtues, but still is contaminated result, because changeable, because it's just moments, because just temporary moments. Any kind of the happiness, enjoyment of samsara is just temporary moments, maybe for 1 hour, maybe for the few hours, maybe few days, maybe few weeks, even maybe you can few months enjoy happy, but not so much longer. It cannot exist much longer because change, the temporary contaminated happiness of samsara changing into the of suffering of change. That has happened problem. So therefore, the three realms, like the happiness in the three realms, like the dew, the very small, tiny, the drop of water on the blade of grass early morning, and then just maybe second minutes later, and then it's destroyed by the air or by the sun or the dry become dry. It's makes sense. Makes sense. Like this, the temporary happiness enjoyment, they understand the faults of samsara. So is subject to instantaneous fading away, just spontaneous. The swiftly or immediately is disappear. That is because it including by the compounded phenomena. So therefore, that is one part of impermanent. Impermanence. That is not permanent. So therefore, very changeable object. So fading away. So in this way, to strive for the supreme state of liberation, that never wavers. So if you found the ultimate peace. If you found the way how to achieve a state of ultimate enjoyment, which is nirvana, Sanskrit language. Nirvana is, Buddha says, as peace. Peace means is because you have freedom from any kind of delusions and the ignorant and the disturbing emotion mind. When you have completely freedom from any kind of disturbing emotion mind, and that there's no reason to collective of non-merits or the contaminated karma. If you have no chance to accumulation of the contaminated karma, and then there's no reason we are reborn in the samsara, depend to under the force of karma, of delusions, and of ignorance, which means you will be freedom reborn in the samsara from the karma, which means you will be freedom reborn in samsara from the delusions, which means you are freedom from the root of ignorance of samsara. That means is the liberation. That will be liberate. You are liberated. But doesn't it mean to totally disappear? But still could be possible reborn in samsara, but by the compassion only wisdom. But normally we are reborn in samsara under the force of ignorance or the karma. So, for the supreme state of liberation, that never wavers, because that is unchangeable. This achievement state, ultimate peace, is unchangeable object, undetectable. The nirvana, the quality of the civilization, of the qualities of nirvana is undetectable object. Once, if you have chance, opportunity, achievement state there, your mind become wisdom to realization, selflessness, self, then you can destroy ignorance. That means you can destroy delusions. That means you will be freedom from the contaminated karma. That means is then you will be freedom from the reborn in the samsara, fleshly, So is the practice of a bodhisattva. So those the follower after the footstep of Buddha and Bodhisattvas, and the last must be to know the natural law of cause and effect, and last to understand how to cut the root of samsara. So that's the part of middling beings motivation, because you want to become nirvana yourself. You because want to freedom from the samsara of yourself. But this motivation, if you go in any kind of practice, this lead you into the path of a middling being. Okay. So now the last part, the third section, we're going to talking about the path of great beings. Because your motivation now, what does means path of great beings? Not only you yourself want to free from low realm and reborn in the high realm. Not your main motivations for practice is you yourself leading towards the nirvana, and yourself you want to freedom from the faults and suffering of samsara only. That is not only your motivation. But you want to benefit to other mother sentient beings. Gradually, you want to lead them towards the of completely enlightenment mind. By your compassion and by your wisdom, till emptying of samsara, you want to benefit again and again. So therefore, by this motivation, if you listen, thinking, meditation, practice, collection merits, purifications, avoiding 10 negative actions, cultivating 10 virtues, extra, so forth and so forth, so on and so forth. So it's any kind of your practice can be directly or indirectly is entering into the path of great beings. Then no more higher motivation. Then no more higher that is the highest, the courage. Bodhisattvas courage. So this is the highest level confidence, self-confidence, or the highest courage. That is why I say bodhichitta mind. So they lead you in path of the great beings. So let's check now this teaching, the path of great beings. So this topic section we can again division into this two stages. First, one is cultivating of bodhichitta mind, One is practice of bodhicitta mind. So now the first one, the verse of 10th. Better verse of 10th, explanations, cultivating of bodhicitta mind, or the generation of bodhicitta mind. Here, let's check. From the beginningless time, your mothers are cherished to you. If they now suffer, what good is your own happiness? Therefore, in order to liberate limitless numbers of sentient beings, cultivating bodhicitta is the practice of a bodhisattva. So, from the beginningless time, your mothers have cherished you. From beginningless time, not only this time, not only last time, a sense from beginningless time already, all the mother sentient beings have cherished you. That is, say mothers, not only one mother, it's mothers, which means is the reason because how many times you are reborn in the samsara, again and again. How many times you are reincarnated in the samsara or reborn in past life. If you are logicians, follow the perfect logic and perfect reasoning through the perfect reasoning, then you understand 100% sure each sentient beings we are happy with reincarnation. We are reincarnated, means we are born from past life, and through continuously our next rebirth, through the life after of another life. Our birth have no begin and no end. From beginningless we are born. The reason I mentioned to you, so our consciousness, nature, clarity, awareness, mind, our consciousness not born from our parents. Our consciousness, clarity, awareness comes from our past life. So therefore, when we get the sick, the ill, the actual disease to cause of the death, that times also your physical body, the course level, your physical body will be dissolving into the of a four element. That is the end of this life. But your consciousness, our mind, or the stream of our mind, the clarity, awareness, cannot be dissolved into the of this four element, not possible. Because clarity, awareness not producing from these four elements, so therefore not growing from these four elements, so therefore will not be dissolving, cannot be dissolved into this four element. That's not possible. So therefore the clarity, awareness is continuously through life after of another life momentarily. So the last moment of your death, the clarity, awareness, last moment of your clarity, awareness is at the cause, and the just immediate next moment of the intermediate state, Bardo beings, clarity, awareness is as the effect. So it's the momentarily change our nature mind. The reality base of our consciousness comes from past life, and our continuity base of all consciousness could be reborn and next rebirth. When the separation from this physical body. So, in this way, we need to understand the reincarnation is true. So if you agree, and then we can say all sentient beings already, each beings we have related to each beings more than 100 times between mother and child relationships, because we can't say each of our birth is from same parents. Not possible. 99% is each our birth comes from the relationships to the different parents. So therefore even the sentient beings number is existent countlessly, but our birth, the time of our birth is also countless times. We are born again and again. So that is why even we couldn't remember our previous parents' relationships, but no matter you remember clearly or not, but the reincarnation is true. So therefore, already that is the point, meaning from the beginningless times, your mothers have cherished you because it was your mother. As well, when you born from that sentient beings, that times they take care of you, No matter which kind beings of your mother, you are born maybe was in the animal realms, or human realms. But anyway, even animal realms, you can see how they take care, the mothers, the animal mothers, how their responsibility carefully to take care of the baby, the children, the child, the babies, we can see very the animals, the bird, so forth. So this means is a sense from beginners, their kindness us. So first we need to this kind of Mahayana tradition followers. One important thing is how you can cultivate your bodhicitta mind. First, you need to recognize all sentient beings are our mother. Then a second stage is on there is you need to remember their kindness from beginningless time already. And then the third stage is you need to start to repaying them. You need to cultivating your motivation and intention very strongly. The intentionally you want to repay them their kindness, because that is the chance we have now, opportunity to reborn in the human realm. We met holy teaching. We understand its natural law of cause and effect. We know how to dedicate. We know how to benefit. And so many things, we have more qualities than the other, our lower mother beings. So therefore, that is the opportunity, the chance to repay them their kindness. So if you really feel bottom of your heart, you want to start repaying them their kindness, that means is coming the pure love, loving kindness. If you feel that all sentient beings, no matter is the moments close you or not, but everything as equally is the lover beings for you, and the lover, as being everybody is lover for you, and then that means is then pure compassion is coming, pure compassion, the infinite compassion is arising from your heart, because each sentient beings actually we have had seed, compassion, love, but very limited. So now we need to generation into the unlimited compassion and love. What it means is infinite love and infinite compassion, because equally pervading your compassion energies to the all sentient beings, not for your parents in this life, not friend of your this life only, not only your people of this life, but equally no matter in this life is what kind of appears in front of you, but we need to thinking equally to all sentient beings, our mother. That is your compassion love is become the limitless, can developing into the generation of compassion love is into to grow up of the limitless way. That is bodhichitta, real bodhichitta coming, cherish it you. So if they now suffer, those mother sentient beings, hell beings, hungry ghost beings, animal realm beings, so many other hundreds, thousands, billions of previous mother beings are now and suffer here. They need support from somebody. They need help from somebody. They need the leader from somebody. Somebody means from us, We are lucky and fortunately freedom from such force, the problems, but they have no freedom. So therefore, they are sorrow. So as if they now suffer, what good is you on happiness? Because in this case, all your mother, thousands, billions of your mothers are suffering in the hell, hungry ghost, animal realms, or in the samsara. Then even if yourself can liberation from samsara and there will be achievement state of nirvana, but as what makes sense? That means it no make sense, because your mothers, they're burning in the fire, but yourself, the son of this mother, is just remaining very peaceful place. Then what makes sense? No meaning. It's shameful, actually. If you're thinking the logic, then that is what good is your own happiness alone. So if you follow this logic, thinking this reason, then you understand is how important you need to cultivate a mind of enlightenment. Therefore, in order to liberate limitless numbers of sentient beings, start from now, So bodhicitta, the generation bodhicitta mind with two different aspects. One is the aspect of bodhicitta mind of compassion, love, kindness, want to attitude, benefit to other sentient beings. That's the main aspect, one of these two. And therefore now questions how we can do benefit to other sentient beings by oneself of one person, because others countless beings. It's true. That's not easy. So therefore, you need to find yourself first freedom from the faults of samsara and suffering of samsara. You must be try to find the way yourself first freedom from the obscuration delusions, obscuration of the karma, and obscuration of to remove the obscuration to the omniscient, which means is you must be try to be start achievement state, will be achievement state of yourself is an omniscience mind, all knowing knowledge mind or Buddhahood. Because if when you will be achievement state of omniscience, then Buddha's activities, the 4 kind or 5 kind of different activities, peaceful activities, increasing the developing the activities, and then as the power activities and wrathful activities, and the activities Buddha's body, Buddha's speech, Buddha's of qualities, and activities of Buddha's activity can multiply into benefit sentient beings, till emptying samsara when they achieve of these qualities. So therefore, your second aspect, the definition of your bodhicitta, you want to will be achievement state of Buddhahood for benefit other mother sentient beings. Something like this, if you can generate, if you can cultivate your mind on this motivation, that is real bodhicitta appears your heart. So that moment you are become son of Buddha's heart. You are the son of Buddha's heart. You are that moment when you feel even 1 second minutes first moments you appears this motivation from deep your heart. That means is you are the entering into the path of great beings. You are become same family of the noble beings, Arya beings, supreme beings, or the Bodhisattva family. You are become same family. You are born just moments, by this motivation you are born in the same family of Bodhisattva. So we can call you are Bodhisattva. Okay, Bodhisattva there's 2. One is realization, the Bodhisattva who realization true nature of selflessness and phenomena by the wisdom mind. That is the actual Bodhisattva. And someone is they have generated mind of enlightenment, but yet not realization true nature of selflessness, self and phenomena emptiness. But still is we can call Bodhisattva, same family, because your courage is the same like Bodhisattva. Your self-confidence is very high, that is. So therefore, in the order to liberate limitless numbers of sentient beings. So cultivating bodhicitta, this is we calling is cultivating bodhicitta, is the practice of a bodhisattva. So that moment you are enter into the path of great beings. That moment you are become the son of Buddha's heart. That moment you are born in the same family of Bodhisattva. So no matter you are lay practitioners or ordained, fully ordained monks, nuns, there's no distinguished difference, because who is of Mahayana Bodhisattva practitioners or non-Buddhist Mahayana practitioners depend on your motivation. That is only. Okay, so that's one. So and then next, so now is the next stage is to the practice, the actual practice of part of the Bodhisattvas after cultivating mind of enlightenment. So again, we can divide it into these 2 different levels. One is the practice of according to the of conventional bodhicitta mind practitioners, and the practice according to the of ultimate bodhicitta mind practitioners. So now first we go into the explanations according to the of the conventional bodhicitta practitioners, conventional or the relative of the bodhicitta practitioners first. And this first one, again, we can divide it into 2 different levels or 2 different sections or stages. One is the cultivating the equipoise meditative concentration according to the of this conventional bodhicitta mind, and one is during the post practice with according to the conventional bodhicitta mind. So now we are this relevant, the verse relevant to explanations during the equipos meditative concentration according to the conventional bodhicitta mind. Okay. So, but at the moment, maybe I want to a little bit introduce to you what is the difference between conventional bodhicitta mind and ultimate bodhicitta mind. So, the conventional bodhicitta we can generate even we are very beginning of practitioner, the ordinary. We are maybe already enter into the path of accumulation, or maybe we are enter into the path of preparation, but we are yet not achievement state path of seeing. So therefore we are still ordinary, but we are the son of Buddha's heart. We are the same family of Bodhisattva because you cultivated, you generated the mind of enlightenment. Bodhicitta mind is your heart. Your heart is full of bodhicitta mind. So this moment your bodhicitta is a conventional bodhicitta mind. And then the ultimate bodhicitta mind is when you will be achievement state part of seeing. That moment means when you will be to realization, true nature, selflessness of person, and you will be to realization, selflessness of phenomena, better your primordial wisdom. That moment you had completely freedom from obscuration of delusions, obscuration of karma, obscuration of ignorance, which means you liberated from samsara. So, and that realization, true nature of emptiness, can performing with the essence of compassion, love. That bodhicitta is, we say, ultimate bodhicitta. Okay, so now that is the two different main aspect. So now we're going to explanations. The first one, the conventional bodhicitta, and there are also two. I mentioned you, post meditation and equipost meditations. The observation concentration meditations of this conventional. So the first one now, the element, the verse of element. Let's we check what they say. All sufferings comes from yearning for your own happiness. The perfect Buddha are born from the intention to benefit others. Therefore, to truly exchange your own happiness for the suffering of others is the practice of a bodhisattva. So now that can be like Tonglen meditation. You know, Tonglen meditation in Tibetan word Tong and Len. Tong means is a giving. Len means taking, giving and taking meditation. Or we can say sending and receiving. Sending our virtues or happiness, or giving or virtues or happiness to other sentient beings, other mother beings, and taking from their sufferings and misdeed upon of yourself. That is Tonglen, exchanging or giving and taking, because somebody already cultivated your mind enlightenment or generated bodhicitta mind. Then we must be try at the time we need to practice meditation. Something at least we need to meditation of the bodhicitta mind with of Darshan Nyamba, the equalate bodhicitta mind of yourself and others. Or we need to practice bodhicitta mind with the exchanging. We're talking now is a giving and taking meditation. Or you need to with your practice bodhicitta mind meditation, cherishing to others more than of yourself. There's three options, you know. So one of these here is giving and taking, or the change, you know, exchanging. So here, so now how we exchange there? Because the reason, our main motivation, you want to become Buddhahood. Our main motivation, we want to become Buddhahood for benefit of other sentient beings. Then how can you could be free from samsara, and how can you be achievement Buddhahood? It's very important, your motivation. Because all sufferings comes from our problems, normal, this part of the ordinary beings' problems, and the part of middling followers' problems. The problems part of the similar beings. Everything comes from here, all sufferings comes from yearning from your own happiness, which means is we have self-cherishing from the ignorance, from dualistic self-grasping. Self-grasping is the root of ignorance. So as long as we have self-grasping, and then as we had the self-cherishing. As long as we have self-cherishing, and then that means self-attachment. I want, I need, anything, something, good things is for me. That is, any problems, any something false, any something else of the something is the unpleasant or not the adjective and object is you. That's you, for you. For ours, every good things for me. That's self-cherishing. That is a normal, ordinary people's motivation. I want, I need. It's very limitless or attachment, or desire, or cravings. So therefore, our sufferings also limitless. Our worry is limitless. We have many times our suffering, disappointed, regretness, disappointedness, and suffering very much, because the root is, sure, they have many different conditions, but the root comes from here. That says all sufferings comes from yearning for on your happiness only. We care less to other beings, only you thinking the self-cherishing, the selfishness motivation. That's the problem. So therefore, if you cannot change this motivation, then even if you can benefit yourself alone, and then how can you benefit to other mother sentient beings? That's not possible. So therefore, now the perfect Buddha are born from the intention to benefit others. Then why those Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Arya beings, noble beings, supreme beings, the qualified beings or spiritual beings are freedom already to force samsara and suffering samsara? Why? Sure, they have many different cause and conditions, but the main point, the one important thing is the motivation. Here, the perfect Buddha are born from the intention to benefit others. That is the root, So, therefore, we also must be trying now as your actual, the equipoise meditation, the concentration of the conventional bodhichitta mind, you need to exchange. Thinking start right now. Therefore, to truly exchange, not just more thin words, logically and reasonably, and with your the aspired the faith, and with on the of your the inspired faith and aspiring faith and trusting faith or confident faith, truly from your heart, exchange your virtues, your happiness, your good things, your welfares. Just this is meditation. We're talking now as meditation. Meditate to giving meditation to others, sharing to others, or dedicate to others your good things. Exchange means is that you, and on top taking from them their misdeed actions, the cause of suffering, and the repentant result of suffering upon of yourself. Meditate. Like Tonglen meditations. When you breathing out, breathe, and that is a representation to giving. When you breathe in, that is a representing to taking from their karma and misdeed upon of yourself. So, exchange or your own happiness for the suffering of others is the practice of Bodhisattvas. According to the conventional bodhichitta, equipoise meditation concentrations with Okay, that's one. And then next, the section of during the post meditation with of this according conventional bodhichitta mind. So this during the post meditation, the post practice of the conventional bodhichitta, we again here we can division into this 4 categories, 4 stages. And then the first one of these four, again, we can divide it into, there's again another four sections, the sections. So these, the another four, the first one, because the another four means is how training into the of your practice when you had when you have met of the unfavorable conditions, or means when you have problems, the obstacles appears during your meditation, your practice, and then how can you these problems transfer into the path of the Bodhisattvas. That is the point. Now we're coming now. Next stages. There's four different stages of the obstacles, how you can transfer into the of your practice. So the first one of these four is the undesirable, or something undeserved or something, the object of, when there appears the obstacles, what you doesn't want, but what doesn't you want, you couldn't stop. So that moment you have problems. But these problems, how can you transfer into the of your practice, part of the Bodhisattvas? That is we're talking now, the 12th verse, here, verse 12. So, this four and the one here. Even if someone driven by the excessive desire steals all your wealth, or instead someone else to steal it, to dedicate to this person your body, possessions, and all your virtue of the three terms is the practice of a Bodhisattva. So here say, even some driven by the main motivations, very excessive desire or craving to your things, and still all your wealth, by the negative emotion of desire or craving or attachment. Then what do you do? If you are the followers, part of Bodhisattvas, and you already cultivated mind of enlightenment, you already generated the bodhicitta mind, and now you are going on the path of the conventional bodhicitta mind practitioners, then during the post your practice happened these problems, then what do you do? What you can do? That's the questions. And the answer here. Or directly somebody stole to you, or they sent somebody, So here, instead, someone else to steal all of your wealth, then what you can do here? To dedicate to this person, on top of this your wealth. They stored everything from you, but on top is you must be dedicated your body, your possessions, and all your virtues together. Without angry, without jealous, without harming mind, no retaliation, without retaliation, no revenge, because it's just immediately you try to find the retaliations or retaliate or the revenge to them, and that is not Bodhisattva's practice. That is a very ordinary practice, Very ordinary, as much they can try, of course, retaliating or the revenge to them or something, as a refutation to them, as immediately when there are problems, they try protect themselves and to maybe control them or to destroy them as much they can. That's the modern way. That's the worldly practitioners, the worldly, the aim of the worldly person. But we're talking here is the part of this the spore mountain way followers, particularly part of great beings of Mahayana Bodhisattvas, and particularly as they had already generated mind of enlightenment, they have the vow of Bodhisattvas vow holders, So in this case, you cannot retaliation to them. You cannot retaliating them. But not only retaliation to them, but on top, the opposite of the revenge to them here, refutation to them opposite here, to dedicate at this person your body. Because that is a karmic connection. That problems comes from karma actually. You see the problem directly from this person, the thief or the robber. But that's just direct cause. You can see in the moment the direct conditions. But the projecting, the cause is not from this person alone. The actual your problems comes from your previous misdeed action, misdeed karma. Because your past life, during the maybe it's many times in your past life, you killed them, you stored them, you cheating them, something is you steal from them, so forth. This all is with a karmic debts. We have karmic debts. To this person is like karmic creditors, So we must be sooner or later will be to pay them their karmic debts. As long as you have with the karmic debts with somebody, then you have always obstacles there in this life or next life, So we must be purified to cleansed of your previous karmic debts, the obscuration of karmic debts. We must be repaying them their karmic debts. Otherwise, you have no freedom from the obstacles and sufferings on this life and future life problem. So, because if completely you had cleansed the karmic debts, they have no chance, nobody to kill you, no possible, nobody stole, nobody cannot stole to you, But it's you have chance to something you lost, you have problems from somebody, that means it's the sign you have not yet freedom from the karmic debts. You have not yet not freedom, not enough you completely to pay them their karmic debts, So in this case today, when you happen this problem, the moment you do not angry them, do not try retaliation to them, but you need to understand that force is not only from them, but your previous misdeed, the karma, misdeed action, the repentant result to have this experience. So therefore, now I must be to bear, I must be to patience, I must be to with tolerance and to dedicate them. Because the self-cherishings from the body, my body, my speech, my heart, that's the root why we was misdeed actions comes from. So today I give them my body. Why I collected so much possessions, the chance to steal from others, because we have attachment to the body. So therefore we attachment to the possessions, we collected from this misdeed karma, So, and why you have chance to born this human body and with these possessions of the human welfare, because you are previous contaminated karma, the virtue. You are born this realm and you have chance of these possessions, but unfortunately your karma is contaminated karma, so you have not yet free of the karmic debts. So we need to understand again the natural law of cause and effect with the patience, to pay them your karmic debts. So body, possessions, and all your virtues, dedicate to them. That is only the way how to you can bear about this problem, how to you can to patience about this. Not only to patience, but how can you transfer into of your this obstacle, your practice of path of Bodhisattvas. Then you can accumulation lost merits at the moments, because that is unusual. That's very hard, not easy, but if you can, and then you have that skillful method for collection merits, the part of Mahayana traditions, So of 3 times, that is not only this present and past and present and future, all of the 3 times is the practice of Bodhisattvas. The one, this obstacle, how train into the path of your practice. And the next, the second stages of these 4 different kind of the unfavorable conditions, how transform into the path of Bodhisattvas. The second is when you have very suffering, the problems, the sorrow, when you have the problem and during your practice, and then how can you bear, how can you transfer into of your practice? Let's check here the another problems, how you transfer into the verse 13th.
if someone cuts off your head, even when you have not done any slightest wrong, through the power of compassion to take his misdeed upon yourself is the practice of a bodhisattva. So someone cut or to kill you, cut your limbs, your arms, your legs, or your neck, or for example, because of your head. If you are already with the Bodhisattva's vows, you are already entered into the path of great beings. And if you are going now, is a practice with of conventional bodhichitta, the post practice of according to conventional bodhichitta mind, and then what you could do. So the answer is, even when you have not done, of course, if you have done something wrong from yourself, then sometimes even ordinary people try to bear, try to fasting, because you had missed it clearly in this life. You killed their children and they kill you, then you must be patient, for example. You killed their parents and then they kill your parents, then you must be to bear, because you had faults. But here, even you have no any faults in this life, I'm talking, I'm sure you have some faults of past life, otherwise they cannot kill you, the karma way. Karmic connections, was not sure. But we're talking is normal way here, very regular way. You have nothing done any. You have no any misdeeds for them in this life. So have not done. But that just means it's then more difficult to bear somebody to hit you, and hurt you then. But still you need to patience. You need to bear, you must be facing about this forcefully, with the compassion and love and wisdom mind. So here, how we can to face about this? Here, through the main power, is through the power of compassion. So which means is, now, would you think at that moment is a problem? Who is most of problems coming? You of these practitioners more problem, or the hunter, the killer, the enemy, or the rebel is more problem? Maybe you feel at the moment, of course I have more problem because they try to cut my head, my neck. But not that's true. Because you are Mahayana practitioners. You are son of Buddha's heart. You are the Bodhisattvas, war holders. You are not normal person. You are very, very extraordinary person. Means is the with bodhicitta mind. You are the representative to benefit all mother sentient beings. You are the responsibility, So you are not normal person. So these, unfortunately, somebody to kill that qualified person, and then how is strong the negative? There's no need doubt that person is immediate next rebirth falling in the hell realm. If somebody killed such bodhisattva practitioners, if killed with angry or with jealous or so forth, with ignorant, and then this killer is just immediate next rebirth. They have no questions, they have no chance to purifications, they doesn't know how to purifications, and then they will be immediate next rebirth falling in the bottom of hell realm. Unfortunately, once they're falling in the hell realm and takes hundreds of years, during kalpas, suffering with heat and cold, and still is difficult liberation, not easy from this. So then you understand is who is more problem become. If you can compare with your compassion, if you can to bear this, if you can facing this, then you are not only no problem, but you have a very good opportunity, chance to collection merits for this dedication. That is more shortcut, skillful method for achievement your purpose of Buddhahood. If you can bear this with this motivation. So you have no any problems, but the others problems, big problems coming, So therefore, you need to understand who is the problem, who is the most of the faults. So then your real compassion is coming. That is empathy, sympathy mind, empathy and sympathy. can experiencing these the killer's problems next rebirth, then you cannot to bear. You can to bear cutting your head, but you cannot to bear these killers to falling in the low realms. That is compassion, real compassion, you know. So, anyway, so through the power of compassion, to take his misdeed now does not mean you give them chance to kill. That is the opposite, of course. As much you can skip or run away or something, because not for you benefit, your motivation, but you want to sip this person's negative action to killing you, you know. You try to sip this killer falling immediate next to the low realms. That is Bodhisattva's main motivation without any hesitation. These Bodhisattvas run away from this rebel, but why they run away? Main motivation is not to save his life, but he wants to save this killer falling in low realms. He doesn't want to give the chance to kill, to fall in low realms. That is main motivation, for example. So even if I have no chance to run away, because the karmic connections, and then to take his misdeed, because to big misdeed to kill the one son of Bodhisattva. So therefore, open yourself to take his misdeed of this killing, negative actions. Just you very strong, like again, like Tonglen, giving and taking meditation, like exchanging before we mentioned you know, your virtues, your happiness, to give them, dedicate to them, their misdeed, karma and actions open of yourself on top of to bear the loss to your head, you know. So to take his misdeed upon yourself is the practice of a Bodhisattvas. But as can some very high the accomplishment, achievement state, the realization of this kind of motivation, very practitioners, very something they had experienced of bodhicitta, compassion, love, the pure of the bodhicitta. Those masters, those practitioners have many stories, historicals, you can see, you know, it's possible. At the moment we feel that is impossible, but it's possible. When they tame the mind, you know, then it's very possible. The Togme Zambo himself, the author of this text, he did many things kind of like this, other sufferings take upon himself, and his happiness, enjoyment to share, dedicate to others, exchanging many, many times historicals. The real, not he just read the road of this text, but himself already is experiencing something like this kind of many hardships. He did, you know. So anyway, yourself is the practice of Bodhisattva. And the next, so the third aspect of these four different kind of the obstacles, how transferred into the of your practice of the Mahayana path. This is the particularly here is when somebody slander to you, and then how can you to bear, or somebody abuse for you, and then how to bear, how transfer this obstacle into your practice. So let's check the verse 14th here. Should someone slander you in a below words with a loving heart to proclaim his good qualities in return, is the practice of a Bodhisattva. So should somebody slander you, slander means is they use harsh word or something harmful speech, or maybe it's they talk of your faults or something, they look insult to you, they're looking down you, and to speak very bad something, you know, slander you, as he is, you are a bad person or something, that something is slander you. But that's not only for you directly alone, because in a belong world and the worlds, or so many people and they're around there, and then more difficult to bear actually, you know. But if you are the enter to the already part of Bodhisattva, you already generated mind of enlightenment and generated bodhicitta mind, then you have the vow, bodhicitta vows, you know. So therefore, you must be to bear, you must be to patience about that, not only to bear about that, but you to know how transparent these obstacles bring into the of your practice. how transfer into the method of the companions of your practice, with of your practice. So here, with loving heart, love, compassion and love, particularly the loving heart, to proclaim his good qualities in return. This is very, very opposite of ordinary people's perception. If very, very ordinary, and then we try also is abuse to them, say return to the retaliation to them immediately. We use also harsh word, to them, because we are angry. We are because very sad. It's an uncomfortable feeling. So therefore, we try also to against to them immediately. Revenge to them immediately. That's the ordinary people's way. But we are following no extraordinary way. So the opposite of ordinary perception here. So therefore, with love, because ordinary is with angry, angry heart, and then just revenge to them. But we try to use the loving kindness is the representing of the angry, and the harsh word is you to telling the others qualities, that is representing to of normal the harsh word. So with a loving heart to proclaim his good qualities. If this person has some good qualities, if then you don't tell he or her faults, even but you should be to tell he or her qualities if knows to the other peoples. That is the opposite, return. With love. Because love means all is sentient beings, your mother, But unfortunately, foolishly, they are training cyclic samsara with the desire, anger, ignorance, so forth. So today, we can see they are more ignorant, They're using like this, the harsh word to you. So you need to understand, to bear this, and is the practice of a bodhisattva. Okay. And the next, that is, you have chance to collection merits, laws, if you can do that. But there's also a very great method for avoiding this slander to you. If you are very vast person, then better to retaliation immediately, than this. This use the talking his qualities as better than just immediate to his telling his faults. If you are very vast person, actually, even if you're thinking for yourself, still it's better. It's then better to tell this, because others multiply. Quarrelings we can see very much. Shouting each other and quarreling each other, fitting each other, multiply more. Therefore, even somebody is to use this harsh word or slander to you, but if you to bear, and if you not retaliation immediately and use the right word, and then he or her also change gradually, will be changed, because something is shy, coming, because as they know the other people's no revenge to him, but they're telling the opposite, and then 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, then how can he continue do that? Maybe the end he will tell you your qualities. Maybe the end, maybe the end totally change. They love you, they support you, they respect you, they bow you, they worship you. The end, because that is your method, even if you're thinking yourself. But here is main motivations with love, for benefit others, So anyway, is the practice of bodhisattva. And then the fourth aspect, the bad obstacle, the conditions, how transfer into the path of your practice during the equipost meditation, during the post of the conventional bodhicitta practitioners, bodhicitta man practitioners. The another problems, and using better another method, little bit similar, but it's a different aspect here, the problems. So let's check. If in the middle of the crowd of people, someone reveals your hidden faults and abuse you for them, to see him as a spiritual friend and to bow with respect is the practice of a bodhisattva. So if in the middle, for example, of a crowd of people, so many people, someone reverse your hidden faults, because maybe everybody usually always full faults, but not always full qualities. We have mixture, If somebody knows your faults, your hidden faults, you doesn't want to know nobody. You want to always hiding. You always want to secret that. But unfortunately, this person they knows your these faults. Then they want to telling your faults in the crowd of people. Then not easy for you, very painful your heart, But if you are part of Mahayana practitioners, if you are the bodhichitta war holder, then you must be to face, you must be to bear about these problems. But not only try to bear these problems, but you need to transfer into your practice. Chance for practice, hidden faults. So now how? Abuse you for them to see him as a spiritual friend, your spiritual master, like UTC. Then why? Maybe you say, how can I bear this? How can I see my spiritual master or my spiritual friend? True, motivation is different totally. Your spiritual master's motivation is compassion and love and wisdom, and to tell point of your faults. Says, oh my son, don't do that. That is mistake. Your teacher can say point of your faults, but that is he or her heart is compassion, love you, and the wisdom. This is a problem for you. That is why he or she is to tell you the point of your faults. That's your master motivation. But the other people is not like that. He or she, they want to harming you, they doesn't want to help you. So therefore, he tell your faults, So the motivation is totally different. But no matter what motivation, but what they says is true. That is the point. Because what they says is that true your faults, right? Because you are Dharma practitioners, you must need to change sooner or later your misdeed action, transfer into the right action. Your faults, you must be changed into the right, right action, right conduct. Otherwise, you hate, secret your faults as a collective again and again and again and again. You doesn't show other people. Always keep, secret and collective more. That is the opposite of Bodhisattva's practice. That is cheating, cheating to other sentient beings. That's cheating other people's, because you want to hate your faults there. You doesn't want to tell them. You doesn't show them. So therefore, it's no matter, because your master, why tell you your faults? That means you need to change these faults. You first need to recognize as your faults. And then second stage is you must be try to avoid the future. That is why your master to point your faults. So therefore, no matter the other people, does not mean the main motivation, but is a fault is a fault. You have to accept that point, the faults. That means you have to try to change, on top of exception of this speech, spiritual. So that is the point. Meaning is you to see him as a same the point of the spiritual friend, and to bow with respect to him. Oh, thank you. You point me, show my faults. Remind me my faults. Or introduce to my faults. You are like teacher. My teacher. So I bow you, I worship you, I respect you. I will try to change my faults. It's true what you says, no matter his motivation or what, but it's true. So this is the logic, Otherwise, if you're angry and then cannot change your faults, is there, but then you have more faults because you are following the faults, because you are the Mahayana practitioners, Bodhisattvas. Only we want to benefit others, but not harming to nobody. But you have the problem. So is the practice of a Bodhisattva. Okay, that is the one of these 4 stages the first four aspects have gone. So now the second stages of these four transformation into the part of the better conditions. So now the second, again, we can divide into two different stages. This means is unbearable, very, very difficult. It's, unbearable something, suffering, the problems, obstacles, and how can you transfer into the part of your Mahayana Bodhisattvas, especially here. There's two different aspects. Okay. The first one is now we're going to, when the ungratefulness means is repaying back you is the opposite of your kindness. Then very difficult to bear that, very difficult to patience with this. But still, no matter how difficult, you must be try to transfer into your practice. Thus, let's check now the number of 16th, the verse of 16th. Here, if someone whom you cherish as dearly as your own child takes you for an enemy, then, like a mother whose child is sick, to love that person even more is the practice of a bodhisattva. So here, for example, if someone whom you cherish as dearly as your own child, more, and then, unfortunately, because usually maybe you have wish, but then normal, the reason is maybe they're repaying you your kindness. That's a normal, natural law, of course, the effect. Repaying you from them, repaying you your kindness. That's normal. Even modern way, must be repaying you. If you did some good things, others, then other must be to do good things to you. That is normal. So, but unfortunately here is repaying you as the opposite of your wish. Means is the opposite of your active, the opposite of your kindness. That is, I'm saying, the ungratefulness comes back to you, and then more difficult. Because this person is you very much to take care of them, and responsibility to them, and support to them, helping to them, and love them as more, as dear, it says, dearly as your own children. But unfortunately, they take you for an enemy. Then easily we are angry, right? Normally. But still, if you are already in the path of Mahayana Bodhisattvas, you already generated mind of enlightenment, then still you try to face, or try to bear, or try to transfer into your practice that problem. Then like a mother, the logic is here, whose child is sick. The kindness mother, her child is get sick long time in the hospital, and then is that lost the energies and the functions, the powers of recognitions, and then even this sickness child cannot recognize his one's mother. One's own mother is as kindness, and they like enemy, like they're angry, upset, they doesn't eat, many you can see the sickness, the children's how they, difficult to the parents, for parents, but parents not angry, as more love. Because they understand that he or her children get sick, getting is a problem, has become mad and crazy, now. So therefore, she is more worried than the angry, So that examples the Bodhisattva practitioners to understand the ordinary people's faults. Actually, ordinary is full ignorant and misconception, misunderstand, but this person is more full, more faults, more poor. Because even he doesn't know how to repay the kindness. That is why more poor. This kind of person is more poor. So therefore you need to more cherishing this person than other. Like your the sickness child. So to love that person even more is the practice of a Bodhisattva. Okay, then one more we go. This. And then there's another obstacles, very difficult to the unbearable, the obstacles when during your practice, the how you to bear. The another one is somebody insult you, somebody looking down you, and that times how to bear. From the verse of 17th. Let's check how going. Even when someone who is your equal or inferior, driven by the arrogance, seeks to disparage you, to place him on the crown of your head. With the same respect you would accord your guru is the practice of a bodhisattva. Here say, even when somebody who is your equal qualities or is inferior qualities or less, the lower. Why they doesn't give you example the higher qualities? Because if this person is a higher power, the power is more higher than yourself, then even you have no patience, but you should be patient, because you cannot do nothing. That patience is not really pure patience, because you lost your confidence. You have no confidence, you have no courage to revenge to this retaliation to them, because they are powerful. So therefore you say, okay, sir, but this sir is not very nice, But here is equal or inferior, then you can against them, because you have same quality, or maybe you are more strong, you are more higher, so easy you can revenge to them, easily retaliation to them. But still you are Mahayana Bodhisattva practitioners, you do not, revenge to them. But not only, but you transfer into practice this. Because from the others' motivations, they're driven by the arrogance, because they mistake. The other one is actually the same, equal you, or maybe it's inferior, but themselves is with the negative emotion of pride. Negative emotion, pride or arrogance, means I'm the best one. I'm the boss of this person. I'm the higher qualities of this person. I'm the something like that, even not true, but they have the pride. This is negative pride or arrogance. Here's this arrogance, So, but these they look down us, and looking down us, and look insult to us. Actually not true, the reality, but they mistake. They with the arrogance, and then look down us, But still you must be to bear, That means. To place him on the crown of your head means to bow and worship them, respect them, honor them. The opposite of the retaliating, with the same respect, like how you bow, how you worship, how you take on your head of your master or the spiritual friend, like this. Because if you respect or prostration or praise to your master or your Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, like these beings, you had accumulated chance to collection merits for purifications, and you will be achievement, ultimate peace and happiness, son and Buddhahood, that is. But even same, if you can respect to this kind of person, then also you have chance to collection merits. You have chance to purifications, and you have also chance, opportunity to quickly will be achievement state of Buddhahood if you can. So therefore, the motivation is different, your master and of this person, but is if you can to bear, but different logic, different method, but is the point of the purpose is become same. You will be achievement state or your purpose can benefit same like your master and this, no difference. With the same respect you would accord your own guru is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So that is today. Leave here. So anybody, if you have any questions, we have around 10 minutes for question answers. Anybody, if you have any questions? Yes.
Rinpoche, I'm not saying I have any good qualities, but I just heard you teaching before, and then I tried a little bit, how to apply. But then I feel very fake, because I try a little bit to practice like this, but in my mind I'm still very angry, at the people who say something bad to me or act badly towards me. Can Can you say something about how to deal with that?
Oh, stare better than just showing. You know, if you're showing directly, then it's fighting each other, quarreling each other. So then even you bear in the heart and pain, but stare better than opening to others, to showing. So better than that is. But stare, if you understand here, from here, if you see something stare not pure, and then try transform into pure, unpure of these these passions or these, you know. So because they have the good qualities, have no end till Buddhahood. So therefore, step and step, first to understand the faults, to recognize the faults, and second stage is try to bear or try to change the faults, and the fourth stage, the third stages will be achievement of full qualities. So these means you need to practice and meditate and training and by the logic and the reason, so forth. But always talking is more easy, but not like that easy. But no matter easy or not, but you already enter into this part. You had already of this Bodhisattvas, the bodhichitta mind. You have already had a commitment of bodhichitta. Then you need, you know, training your mind. So therefore, we need training our mind. How to training your mind? With listening, with the contemplating, with of the meditation of this kind of compassion and loving kindness, and over and over, and then slowly. Very beginning, we are very ordinary, so therefore our compassion, our love is like, interrupted. So I think interrupted love and interrupted compassion. But this we need to change into uninterrupted compassion and love, slowly, and step. Because very beginning is just under the only some force, of course, condition try to keep this. The end transform into is naturally coming and compassion and love. So how can become naturally one day? Because you need to practice. You need to do practice and meditate, training your mind, and then become more familiarity, become more habituated about these convictions and this meditation and this motivation. And then when you complete it, the habitual tendencies and will be the familiarity, and then as naturally, is effortlessly is coming. This is the real Bodhisattva, you know. But we are not real like this kind of achievement state yet. But still, we are the son of, I mentioned you, of the same family of the Bodhisattvas, and we are son of the heart because we cultivated, generated mind of enlightenment, and we we going and trying into this path. So, and then try many methods to try to make as much can. Is when you recognize some faults and try to in the right way. So that is only. So anybody? Any questions? Another? Oh yes. Sorry.
Can you explain the purpose of merit? If you're a bodhisattva, why do you need to accumulate merit?
If you are really Bodhisattva, but Bodhisattva have many levels. Bodhisattva, we're talking here, even you just generation bodhicitta man, that we're talking more almost today many times, say you are become one same family of Bodhisattva. We can call you are Bodhisattva. But you know yourself is how is your quality stare, right? You are not really is the ultimate bodhisattva, yet not achievement. But that is moment is you are already enter into the path of approaching to nearly approaching to the real bodhisattvas. So you are same family become, you know. So, but still, of course, we are very new. So we have anger, we have jealous, we have hatred. That we need to training here. That we need to learning, practice, meditations. This is bodhisattva followers practice, right? So, and that is ordinary bodhisattva. Then still we need to practice during more than 1 eons, 1 kalpas, we need to accumulation merits and wisdom during the path of accumulation and during the path of preparation. But you are still as an ordinary bodhisattva. But you are not extraordinary bodhisattva, which means you still have, we still have with ignorant, still we have with delusions, afflictive emotions. That is why we still can be collecting the contaminated karma. That is why still we have not freedom from samsara. Still we reborn in the samsara under the force of karma, even during the path of accumulation, and almost the path of the preparation, almost the last two aspects of path of preparations. Then you free maybe lower realms only. But then you will be achievement state, part of seeing, the third part of 5 Bodhisattva. That means is you will be achievement state, actual Bodhisattva, the real, not only motivation, same family, but realization, wisdom through selflessness, self and phenomena as the real Bodhisattva. So that you have freedom from ignorance. That means completely you free from delusions and karma, and you are liberated from samsara. But still you need to practice. Of course, because your first bhumi to and 10th bhumi is during the path of meditation, you need to passing, as their stair text, 3 numberless eons. From first bhumi to and Buddhahood, no more learning between their texts. Generally, we say average durations as two numberless eons. We need to collection merits again and again, wisdom with compassion love. But that times is you are real, actual Bodhisattva, means it's on top bodhicitta, the pure motivation, but it's wisdom also, it's realization. But still why? Because we have obscuration of the omniscient, obscuration to the omniscient, yet not freedom. So therefore you still have some mistakes coming, because you're not Buddha, that is Bodhisattva. Still we need purifications and collection merits. And then the end, you will be achievement state or part of a no more learning, the 5th path. That means is the Buddhahood. Completely when you have freedom from even the imprint of your obscuration, the delusions, and obscuration to the omniscient. That means you will be achievement, wisdom, suchness, and manliness. Wisdom. And then you can say this ask. If a stair says, we're talking about it, then you say, no, I have already freedom from the obscuration, delusions, and omniscient. I already completely realization, selflessness, self and phenomena, already achievement state, omniscience, mind of suchness, wisdom, mind. Then that times I'm saying, okay, true, that is part of no more learning, right? But we are yet not to achievement part of no more learning. We need to more learning, okay?
I have a personal question. If you recognize if something really went wrong, let's say you reacted ordinary, you say sorry to the people? Or
yeah, you say,
yes,
forgiveness, give to them. I say, yes, as a
So
good. It's good. If you see your wisdom mind, that is a good, that is a necessary, necessary for change of something, good things, and then it should be do.
Okay.
But if you see your wisdom mind at the moment is better silent, and then even not try. This everything you need balance is what good to tell them or not is depending on your wisdom on top of your pure motivation. Sometimes even we have pure motivation, but if you lack your wisdom, knowledge, and then sometimes more happen the problem, So that times you can say my motivation is very pure, but it's good, your motivation really true. But your result is not good because it was mistake by the wisdom. So important to balance this both your motivation and wisdom to check what is good. Anyways, main point is what is good forever, whenever, for other sentient beings, without any hesitations, But without any hesitation means is, of course, the nature of your benefit is naturally coming. It's like smoke. When you cook some fire, and that times smoke is naturally arising there. But your main point of fire is not for smoke arising, but for cook, So it's your main motivate practice meditation for benefit sentient beings. But the self-benefit is naturally is coming, right? For example, I support to you. And then naturally you like to me, is it? So therefore I have naturally a chance to something is the respect from you. But that's not my aim. But no matter that's my wish or not is coming. Right? Same. The harming to others also. Ordinary sentient beings always try, unfortunately not everybody, but most we have jealous, angry, hatred, and harming unto others directly or indirectly. But what is the aim? Aim is because he less suffering. he or she want to become more happy, more enjoy, more freedom. That is it. But unfortunately, it's the opposite. It's more is coming. That means lack the wisdom and lack the pure motivation. So this I quote many times from the Shantandeva, the Bodhicharya avatar text. One verse, what they say, Dungar Dondo Sem, Dungar Gelang Umbriju. Devantoyan, Timupi Rang Deva Drastenjung, one verse on Tibetan quote. That means is the Dungar Dondo Sem. Though want to free from suffering, but chasing to the cause of suffering. Though they want to achievement, happiness, enjoyment, but enemy-like destroy the cause of happiness from themselves. So this is the problem. The problems comes from ignorance. So we need to find the intelligent or understand the wisdom on top of pure motivation. So we're going to dedication prayers. Dana Panse Shirgan Anche Parlo Tubaye Sabin Sole Droya Dorwarsho and Dita Tusan Derwaye Gerza Chirne Samba Major Semje Tamje La Sanje Tobi Jungo Jumper Power Cheddar Kimba Kondo Sambo Tea Devje Dedang Gunye Jesus Dalo Shir Gewa Dedang Tamche Ramde Mo Tusa Shambe Jawa Tamche Anje Moya Kangla Shodu Ngamba Dage Geve Sawan de Guncha Zambo Shushe Rabde Over Kunza Dorje Chanche Manche Trenche Sawe Lama Yanche Drove Tonde Monlo Kanda Empire Teda Tamche Daje Drepasho Xiewa Yakondo Yanda Lama No Drame Chunye Perla Lonjo Sada Lamje Yonde Ramzoni Dorje Anchanga Kompa Yanyerto Jo